Good morning and welcome to Gers TV. It's myself, Si, and I've got Ryan joining me as well. A hangover yet again from another desperate Rangers performance at Ibrox last night, but we drew one each and got knocked out of the Europa League. Ryan, how bad was it, mate? What's your thoughts on it?
Absolutely shocking, Si. Absolutely shocking. If you want me to go into the first half, an hour, first half, if you want. Yeah, we looked okay. Yeah. We looked as if we had a plan. We looked as if we were pressing, shutting them down. We looked dangerous in some attacks. And we got our reward with a goal. And thereafter, we disappeared. It's as simple as that.
So many times we've done that, mate. So many times we get where we need to be, but we need to move on and we can't do
it. I can't explain to you, Si. It's just it's getting beyond words now. How bad it is. They scored and I just sat there, and it's certain situations like we're obviously pushing to try and go for a second goal and stuff like that, and we're getting hepped up and we're shooting and my pals freaking out. I'm just sitting there and saying, honestly, my only reaction is to laugh. Just sitting like, this is just absolutely crap. This is just crap.
I thought the first half, it looks as if when we finished the first half, I thought we're in a really good chance here to get an early goal in the second half. And Jagiellonia was great in the first half, but he's not ready to play 90 minutes yet. And the substitutes we can talk about later, but the subs made it to a point. They made the decision for him. They couldn't bring him off because they'd used all their subs. So that boy was on for the last 20 minutes, blowing out his arse. A lot of strange decisions, but the biggest one for me was the team selection. What's your thoughts on how he started?
I think he went with the best of what he could give, Si. To be honest, there's not really much. I mean, Dan Nealon probably is the one that kind of sticks out, and everyone can, for God's sake, why is he playing him, sort of thing. But I don't think Dan Neal was the reason we lost the game last night. We didn't lose it; we drew the game. I don't think Dan Neal was the reason we went out of Europe last night.
No, I think the biggest problem for me was the second half performance and the change of tactics. I think we look reasonably comfortable in the first half, but the second half, taking off Asgard and bringing on McCrory changed the way we were playing. So I didn't really understand that, to be honest with you. And then we went back to the way we were playing later on. But the longer the game went on, the more it looked like they would have scored. If Fendi was going to score a second goal, I would have thought it would have been them. Jagiellonia.
So unfortunately for Derek McInnes, the second half for us just looked like an absolute tactical shambles. We looked as if we were getting managed by an amateur referee, an amateur manager yesterday who was just chucking his pals round about a chessboard. Throughout the entire second half last night, I felt as if we were playing the game. We looked as if we were playing the game with 10 men. Was the way it looked. There was gaps all over the park. We just looked at all times as if we were a man short. Every single week, every single passage of play that we had, every single time we were trying to defend, every single time we were trying to attack, it just looked as if we were playing on the park with 10 men.
Also, we didn't look fit in the last half of the game. About 60 minutes into the game, they were much more fitter than us. They were faster than us, fitter than us, and more hungry than us at that point. We just looked as if we died of our arse. We gave it everything we had in 60 minutes, which is never nearly good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it's the strange decisions that kind of happen. Obviously, he's pulled off Raskin and he's pulled off Neil to bring on Devlin and Dragovic, which I don't understand with Nico Raskin. We all know how good Nico Raskin is, and I think it's pretty comfortable to say that he is the best player within our squad. So why in the last 2 weeks when we're losing, I think we were losing at the time to Hibs, no, we were chasing the game against Hibs, and he's taken Raskin off the park. And we need our best players on the park at all times. So why is he pulling them off? Particularly he's bringing, and nothing against Cammy Devlin. Cammy Devlin's got his attributes, which we all like. And Dragovic is still, the jury's out with him unknown quantity. Why are you taking off somebody who, of Raskin's standard, to bring on these guys? It doesn't make any sense at all. At one point, Finlay Curtis, he brought on Ross McCrory to play Ross McCrory at left back last night, right? I've never seen Ross McCrory at left back in my life, right?
Hopefully never see him there again.
Aye, but then later on in the game, Ross McCrory gets switched over to right mid, and he puts Finlay Curtis in at left back. Like, what are you doing? And it's almost like I'll just chuck the players anywhere. They can play anywhere. And by the end of the game, Manny Fernandez is playing as a centre forward, which
didn't work anyway. Yeah,
that's League One football. You know, that's lower league football when you're chasing the game the last couple of minutes and you stick the big man up front to cause an eye and hopefully he scores a goal. It's like chucking your goalkeeper up for a corner and stuff. It screams absolute desperation.
Yeah,
and it's madness. Sorry, we're going to say something.
I know, just when I watched Derek's interview after the game, he looked like a completely beaten man. You might not saw it. I don't know if you saw it. He just looked the pressure and stress on him. I don't know how he comes back from it. I'm not sure if he can, because there's a massive game on Sunday now. The players I honestly don't think the players look fully. I don't think they look fit enough to be playing now. It's as if they're still in pre-season mode.
Yeah, by his own admission last night, I think Gordy put in the chat last night that he basically admitted that we're not ready for this season, which he can't say, because if he then turns around and says that publicly, you know, that goes into the dressing room and then everyone's sitting in the dressing room sitting thinking we're not ready. It's a psychological blow to your players because your manager's now turned around and saying that you're not ready to play football. Yeah. So what does that do getting into Sunday stuff? He shouldn't have said that. I think he's probably regretting saying that, but he's ultimately is telling the truth. He doesn't need to say it because everybody knows it.
That's what I'm saying. I just thought he was under pressure and he was gibbering it. It was getting to the point where you're just listening to him talking and he's thinking to himself, I just want to get away from here tonight. It was an absolute shit show, but a lot of that to me was due to Derek's tactics, the way he changed it. I definitely think we had a good chance in the first half with the way we were playing, but you've got to keep it that way and you've got to keep asking questions. Their defence weren't the best, but their attack was good. And when they came forward, even the first half, they hit the post with one they should have scored with. The game would have been there then. Because we don't look as if we've got any fight in us to come back. And in the second half, as I said, we bring on 2 defensive midfielders and take off 2 attacking players in a game that we need to win. Because although you're right what you said, we drew last night, but it's still a defeat. Yeah. It's every bit as good as a defeat in the European sense.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at it in the last 8-9 months, you know, we've signed 4 players in January who haven't done it. You know, Nadiri is very obviously not good enough to play for Rangers. I don't care what anybody says. He supplied himself at the gym over the summer. You can see the guys bulked out and stuff like that. But last night he just looked like a guy that had won a my chairs to get a game for Rangers. The Jagiellonia one can't get a game.
Yeah, I seen something last night. They paid $4 million for Jagiellonia, yet they're playing players that be going free ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, it's Derek McInnes has been let down as the new Rangers manager. Derek McInnes has been basically hung out to dry by these guys who are supposedly meant to be doing our recruitment. We knew fine well how many players we were going to lose in our back line and stuff.
We spoke about it over a year ago. This time last year, we spoke about this.
Spoke about it over a year ago, and he just said, everything I said, I said, look at that back line. I said, that's a problem. And I identified it. I identified it as a punter months ago, that we've got a left back on loan who's 18 years old. We've got a captain and right back there. We've got defenders that are all on loan and stuff like that. Manny Fernandez at that point in time wasn't even playing for Rangers. Manny Fernandez was out the squad. He wasn't actually even getting a game.
That's right.
And we're now stuck in a situation where we've got players who aren't good enough, can't stay fit. I'm thinking about Romans, I'm thinking about Sterling. It's mad, and there'll be players in that dressing room who don't want to be there. I'm thinking about Connor Barn, I'm thinking about Nico Raskin. And now, ultimately, it's capitulated right now that this week, basically, we've had a £35 million swing in our finances by not accepting a good enough bid. And every single Rangers fan in the world thinks that £25 million should have been accepted for Trimiti. He's now on the table, the injury table. We don't actually know if he's ever going to come back the same player. So we've seen guys come back and they don't make it from these injuries. And we've obviously been knocked out of the Europa League now. That, for me, Si, is completely preventable. If we'd actually done our business earlier on in the transfer window to get ourselves ready, then we go through that tie. I said to you it was a potential banana skins. Banana skins avoidable if you prepare yourself right and you identify it and let it jump. So that, for me, is if that within the building is not seen with it as poor conduct, and it's now I'm not seeing it the recruitment policy and the players who we recruit has been bad. I'm now getting to the stage where I'm actually going to start calling it unusual. Because
it's neglected at the very least, but you're right, unusual.
It's
Very
unusual.
Clubs, yeah,
unusual recruitment is what I'm calling it.
So, for an example, we've got Penrice coming in today. Apparently, is it Duke? The winger. Too little, too late. I mean, if I was that boy for PSV, you say to him, I'm going to steal your line, I'd be on that fucking KLM flight back to Amsterdam after watching that last night.
He should actually, if he's any sense, he should be in there right now going on it.
We've not got him signed yet. We haven't got Penrice signed, and it was a horror show last night. The last 10 minutes of the game, Rangers did not look fit. They're getting paid a fortune, these guys. None of the players look fit. They look jaded. I mean, Yakota, I thought he did a great half, no having to go to Boyd anyway. He could hardly walk. He should have been replaced instead of one of the defensive subs that they made. There should have been a like for him. But by the time we realised that we couldn't change him, there's got to be a lot of home truths need said quickly. Bring the two boys in. How many more players do we still need? We still need a striker.
Two strikers, sir.
Two strikers. I don't think Shankland just doesn't look fit. He's at that age. I don't think he can lose that weight. We've got him at a right point in his career. Naderi is just Ryan Naderi, a German second division, third division player. He's never going to be much better than that. A guy that tries but just isn't good enough. Miovski comes on with 10 minutes to go. When the rest of it, there's no supply for Miovski. I would have started with him because we're playing with the two wingers. I think it's ideal for Miovski, but there seems to be some kind of fallout there. For some reason he's not playing. I don't know what it is. All other part we seem to be mismatched and mismanaged now. How long Derek's going to get for this, I don't know. I would imagine Sunday could be the tipping point for the fans. But even if I'm not excusing Derek McInnes's performances, because I think he picked the wrong team, I would never done nearly anywhere near it. But even if you replace Derek McInnes, you've still got the recruitment of Purdy and Thelwell Jr. I wouldn't trust any manager. I don't think any manager in the world would be good at it. Well, for example, Gerrard has said on a few occasions now, I didn't come back because it wasn't the right time and the right setup. We know what he means with that. These guys that's just two clowns who are bringing players in for maybe an agenda or whatever they're doing it for. It's not an agenda to benefit Rangers in my eyes.
They work in their own best interest and they work in the club's best interest. As I say, I'm now at the stage now where publicly I'm just going to call it unusual, and I hope people get what I mean by that when I say that. But I'm just going to say it's quite unusual transfer activity, and I think it's been that way for a long time in the club. To be honest, I'd probably go back as far as when Michael Beale was the manager to say that quite a lot of the signings and quite a lot of the transfer activity has been quite unusual. So
I'm just going to cover my faces here with this comment, Ryan. Because I think this is exactly what we're talking about. I'm going to let us read it as it comes in. This recruitment, it doesn't matter who manages Rangers, just as I said that, no one would turn this around, and the people who are running the club are hanging Derek out to dry and one of our own. But his subs made no sense. Pretty much in a nutshell, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't. As I say, I think Derek didn't do himself much favours as far as, we obviously would like to defend him as much as we possibly can, obviously being one of our own and stuff like that. And, we sympathise with the situation that he's going through just now as far as what he's actually been given to work with. But I don't think he did it. He would taken Theo Asgard off at half time. I don't know if Asgard maybe took a knock or something like that. But I felt that was a bit of a sore one to lose. But the thing I say, it obviously is, we foresee to get worse than what it is just now. I can't see us winning on Sunday. I think Sunderland are going to come and cause us problems. We've then got this double header with a Czech team. This Czech team have played 3 games so far, and the Czech league, they've actually won all 3 of them. So again, you're looking at it thinking, here we go again. It's that you've got Pataudry at the end of the month. Where does it stop? And unfortunately, it's probably going to be Denny that loses his job, and that for me is an absolute joke. We should never be in a situation where we've asked this guy to come along the road after doing such a good job at Hearts. and we're in this situation. And then if we don't have Derek McInnes, that says he's not good enough, we need to get rid of him. Who's going to come in and do this manager's job? If Derek McInnes isn't the Rangers manager, who is?
That's my biggest fault. Now, I get the fact that people will come on and say you have to get rid of him, which is, I'm not going to say this the right answer or the wrong answer. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But even whatever way you do that, if you keep McInnes is going to have to either come out and speak out about the recruitment more, or get his guys in, which realistically need to get his own players in quick, and how that would work, I don't know. And if you get rid of McInnes, it's exactly what you said. Who's going to take that job on right now? I can't think the fans' favourite was Gerrard. Gerrard said, I'm not taking it. It's not the right circumstances. We know what that means. We now know, it's clear what that means. The guys that are doing the recruitment are in a different wavelength. They've got a different agenda from what the Rangers support think it should be in the management.
Yeah. See, since we signed Giovanni Van Bronckhorst as a manager of Rangers side, every step that we've taken has been a backward step. We have not taken a big step forward. We've not sold a player for really good money. We've not, obviously Calvin Bassey left in the summer of 2022 after that was the last time Rangers actually done some credible business, either in or out. We then signed Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and get a manager in who, to be honest with you, was an absolute clown. The boy was an absolute puppet. There's no two ways about it. He then goes out and signs players like San Lammers, Danilo, Jose Cifuentes, right? Who turned out to be absolute shockers, right? Signed for decent money on decent long-term contracts as well. And it just gets worse and it gets worse there. And even like you look at McInnes' situation just now, you can even look back at Phil Clement's situation. Look, I thought Phil Clement was a half decent manager as well. He got some very good results when he's in Europe. And I think he just got hung out to dry as well. It's absolutely brutal there.
One thing that's for sure, mate, McInnes stays or McInnes goes, whatever. The support I've had enough with the Thelwell Jr. and the Purdy, the whole setup of our recruitment, as far as I'm concerned, our support have had enough. I've not met a Rangers supporter out there that thinks that these guys have done I can't think of any good job at them.
No. I mean, you look at the 4 players who signed in January, none of them have done anything at all.
Shermee's not a better player than Dessers.
No.
They might get more money for him, but how that would happen to get them in money, even that kind of stuff, I was kind of confused.
But who's advising the decision makers that Shermeet is worth £40 million? Nobody in their right mind is ever going to pay £40 million for a football player who's came to Scotland for £8 million plus his add-ons, whatever it'll be. He's had an average season. Let's be true. It was the first 6 months he was rotten. He had a half decent game at Parkhead, but he scored a couple of goals. Rightly so. You cost £8 million. Would expect you to go and do that. But then he's a couple of goals at the end of the season against Falkirk when Falkirk were on the beach, which was our last win in 9 games. Nobody's going to turn around and say, like, all right, aye, so he's came to Scotland for £8 million, had an average season in Scotland, £40 million. Absolutely. You're lucky you get an offer for 20.
The only way Rangers would get that anywhere near that type of money, or watching them saying this so they'll get any bother, would be Rangers selling them to a club that they guys have got Purdy and Thelwell Jr. have got connections to.
Another club who's having unusual recruitment.
Aye, a wee bit like Everton. We're buying players for Everton, and then other teams like that. That's the only way somebody's going to buy him, and now he's injured anyway, so don't see that happening. So I think we really desperately need a proper striker. There's no striker at the club. Miovski seems to be gone. I think he'll be gone the next couple of days if we get a bid for him. So you can bring in wingers all you want. Wingers supplying good balls into the box for people that can't put the ball in the net. It's no good.
Miovski will be desperately get away for Rangers. I mean, the thing's like, if you ask Lauren Shankland, what was your key to your success last season? How did you score so many? Why did you look so dangerous for that? He's going to point to Claudio Braga and say, well, this guy done all my work for me. This guy basically done all my running. This guy drew all the defenders away from me. He was the guy that opened up all the space for me. He was my partner last season. He was basically the guy that made me as such. And Rangers are going to get along the mate to Tynecastle and say, right, much you need for him. I don't care. I don't care if you turn around and say, we want 8 million quid from him. Fine.
Aye, that was the one I thought we were going to sign out of the kind of Hearts contingent. That was the one I thought. It's hard to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, surely, maybe they think that the boy for PSV is going to be the Braga Shankland link, but Shankland just doesn't look. He looks as if he's a wee bit overweight still, and he looks as if he's at the finishing point in his career. I don't think he's anywhere near as sharp as he should be. But who's going to replace him? There's no replacement, so I don't know.
It's just absolutely, it's ridiculous. And we just keep getting gaslighted by these American owners. Oh yeah, and this, that, the next thing. And like, where's the money? That's what I want to know. That we've now privatised the company as well, so that the Rangers as the football club are now behind a closed door as far as having a look as far as the finance. Because you and I cannot obtain a copy of the company accounts anymore. We're not tied to them anymore. It's no longer a public company; it's now a private company. Mm-hmm. So I know how much I put in on a yearly basis. I'm one of 41,000 people who do exactly the same. You look at every single person that's walking about. People wearing Rangers trips all around the stadium and stuff like that. They're no shy in asking us for money for hospitality packages and buying programmes and TV and Managerial subscriptions and stuff like that. Where's the money? Where's my value for what I've given you? Because I'm sitting back watching that game last night. I'm just like, I've been ripped off. I've been absolutely conned.
I mean, my first thing is we definitely need money for players. We definitely need to bring their players in. We're bringing 2 in, but we were told 5, I believe. But
3 to 5 is the number we're quoted. But
3 to 5, so you might get 1 more in at least by the weekend. The big thing for me to know is who's going to pick them. Is McInnes going to pick them, or is it going to be Purdy and Thelwell Jr.? If it is Purdy and Thelwell Jr., whoever they pick, the Rangers supporter will have no faith in these players.
It's the name side. It's like, we're rumoured for going back for Jane McCormick. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, if you were going to sign Jane McCormick, you should sign him at the end of his loan.
When you had him.
Aye, absolutely. And then James Penrice isn't a new name, in the rumour board. So why at the end at the start of the summer, if you feel as if you needed a left back, if you feel as if Jane McCormick done a good enough job last season, you make it permanent, you go for him.
I was changed, aye.
But why do we have to wait until such time as Tour Romans gets in? Because we know that Tour Romans doesn't have a great injury record so far in his Rangers career. He's been in now. I said a couple of weeks ago, that guy looks as if he's carrying an knock. He doesn't look as if he's...
I remember it on the show.
He doesn't look himself. He looks as if he's carrying a knock. And next thing you know, he's going to be out for a significant period of time. He's probably played through an injury and just made the injury worse. So
that's what it looks like, aye. That does look like that.
So whilst listen, you need to go and get let. So no, we'll no bother with that. We'll wait until such time as we need to play somebody at a position in Europe, and we'll get Ross McClure to go on left back. And what happens? We lose a goal at the back post where the left back should have been standing. That gets us knocked out of Europe.
Exactly what Souness said, mate. Football people to make football decisions.
Really? And by all accounts, it looks as if you've got American businessmen making choices
football decisions, aye, and they don't understand the game. It's not looking great at all, mate.
It's just it's getting to the stage side where at what point do we just start getting fed up? Because it's just, and then who do we actually point towards? I'm certainly. I mean, I pointed the finger at Russell Martin very badly. If you actually look at the situation we were in last season under Russell Martin's actually, if you want to just do a comparison,
he's got a better record.
He's probably got a better record. Derek McInnes, he'd won his European qualifications and stuff. He got us to the Champions League playoff. All right, we didn't win it, but we managed to get Europa League under Russell Martin. We're actually in a situation where we don't even think we're going to qualify for the Conference League. £50 million
went into the club and went backwards since the Americans have been in. I don't see any improvements. I've seen a comment there that we don't have any decent centre backs. It's quite early to judge the McCann, what his name is. I'm too early in the morning to remember his name.
By the way, I like Big McCann.
Right.
I think the last couple of times I've seen him, I thought he's looked okay. I thought he's looked athletic, comfortable on the ball. He's done what he's had to do. I certainly think he's an improvement to what we've got. I think he's a better player than John Souttar for a start.
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot of pointing the finger at Fernandes. I think he could do a bit more. But McCann, by all accounts, I think it's actually been okay. And I'm nowhere saying you're slagging the recruitment guys and stuff like that, but it's the overall recruitment rather than individuals.
I don't think the two of them played that bad last night. I've criticised Fernandes for months, but I don't think the two of them had so much as a bad game. I just think when we changed the formation and tactics so often last night in the second half, the later parts of the game, that everybody, as you said, nobody seemed to know what their role was. Anytime we looked comfortable, we quickly went back into the lost phase. And all the time, this other mob, they were well organised. They came to do a job and they done it. And by the way, congratulations to them. They've never been in the Europa League before, as far as I'm aware. And they came to Ibrox and they done the business. If they'd have scored that one that hit the post, they would have done it a lot earlier. We're no 1 or 2 players short here. When they talk about bringing 3 in, I'm still at the stage where 6 or 7 probably would be required. Because 7 players for last season started the game last week. And it's 7 players that I wouldn't have at the club.
Well, we need another right back. We need another left back. We probably need another centre half because it was a situation last night. If Fernandes or McCann had get injured last night, you're looking going like that. Who's going to set up?
Fernandes got a badge injury in the game, aye. You're right with that. So that's 3 players right away. I don't think we need the midfield situations where the problem is with the getting rid of players. Far too many midfielders.
It's a quality midfielder side. You look at.
We don't have one. But we'll get one. We'll go Raskin. I don't even know if he's gone or no. But assuming he's going to leave for big bucks. Say so.
Raskin would desperately leave Rangers. Let's be honest. Nico Raskin just came back for the World Cup when he was nominated to some sort of like high prevailing team or something like that. He'll be chapping at a bit to get us. As much as we're going backwards, he'll be thinking he's going backwards as well. He'll be looking at his value and what he potentially do for wage demands and stuff like that for himself, and he'll be looking going like that. I need out of here, bro. This is a sinking ship. I want out of here now.
Yeah. So the midfield. So if we've got midfielders, we need to get ready. Well, we'll get ready Diamondi and Aldeira, but we need to get ready more midfielders. I actually thought Asgard played well yesterday. I know he got 2 off. I thought he played well. Need to get rid of midfielders and we need to replace them with at least one proper top quality midfielder. The longer we leave it to get one in, the harder it will be, or the more expensive it will be. Take your pick.
Yep. The thing about it is the damage will already be done by then, Si. I mean, you might turn around at the end of this stupid bloody got the transfer day window slamming shut and everyone's scrambling about and the dominoes all fall and stuff like that. By that point, we could potentially sitting out of Europe, out of the League Cup, a loss at Pittodrie, and sitting there only within the league looking up the way. At that point, it's too late. We're already 5 points behind Celtic in the league. So
yeah, and it's hell goals. And also, you look at back to the recruitment again, bringing in Dan Neil for that. I think he's a free transfer. What was the point in bringing him in? That's literally just another Joe Hawthorne right early back.
It's unusual, side.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit the model what we're looking at. When we had so many midfielders in there, what does Dan Neil do that Connor Barron can't do?
Nah, that's what I was thinking that last night because Barron was on the bench. I'd actually say Barron's a far better player. Knows the team, knows the game, knows the expectations.
Yeah. And what does Dan Neil the Bailey Rice can't do?
Aye. So what's the point of bringing Dan Neil in? It doesn't look like he's going to get any better now. Without making it all about him. Quick comment I meant to say, I seen it last night. I thought his 2 corners that he took pre-season were the worst 2 corners I've ever seen anybody hitting. Couldn't go anywhere than 5 yards. But then I seen his free kick last night and then I realised it's not just the corners he's awful at. And that's what happens when you buy 3 transfers is a problem right away. They're free for a reason.
And then floated to the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper came for toffee.
It's horrendous. And you've also got this. So you get a free transfer scenario. You're getting what you expect, and you've also got. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but this loan. I don't think Rangers should ever be buying loan players. I don't get it. Never understood it. 20 years ago, it was unthinkable Rangers buying a loan player, and now it's a regular thing. And then they go back to their club and then we negotiate whether we want them or not. Jason Magoma, for example. Tierney's another one that people keep wanting to go back to them afterwards. Now, if a comment here saying Mikey Moore, if we're going to buy a player,
Mikey Moore's not come back, just say.
No, sorry, I just mean the fact that he was alone. because we didn't buy him. We didn't buy the player, so when we don't buy him,
we would never have the opportunity to sign a player. Mikey Moore's one of the top young talents in Europe.
Aye, and he's maybe the exception.
Mikey Moore's, he's probably a £35 million football player at 18-year-old. He'll just recently turn 19, but at 18-year-old, we had him, he's probably a £35 million football player.
Aye, yeah. Sorry, the point I'm making is somebody's wrote in the comments about re-signing him, but they're not coming back. That's the thing. Tierney doesn't look like he's coming back. So
Tierney scored the winner for Besiktas last night.
Oh well, that's the answer to that. Then he's probably happy where he is as well. Who's going to want to come in now? If you're a good winger and you're supplying the ball in the box and there's nobody to put the ball in the net, there's not really much point in being a good winger.
The one sign the thing, as much as I don't like the idea of us developing other players, look, there is a food chain in football. Mikey Moore's the example where we are in that food chain just now. But it also helps the club kind of protect himself as well. If we hadn't loaned Scott Wilson in January, we were on the hook for £9 million to buy him. So you've obviously got that loan with a price agreed. So I think that's one year. What was I say?
Oh, Martin.
What did you wrap it up?
Aye, mate. Aye, if you can't go back on.
Yeah.
You should be able to hear us. I can still chat. I can still chat if you want. My cameras went. And I'd need to unplug the USB to get back on. But we're on the half hour mark. We've both got other things we need to do today. Part of my head up, Rick was for one. Two comments I'll bring in, Ryan. I'll let you comment on these first. Second one.
It's hard to argue against sight.
Everyone's starting to see it.
Yep. And how many times are you going to have the same conversation you just had to me today? Because every single person in the street is it. So what's the talk to you? Stop you in the street. Oh, what about Rangers last night? Aye. I'm just going to start walking with a t-shirt and saying Rangers are shite.
Nah, I don't blame you, mate. All right, okay. Listen, take care. Have a good day, and hopefully we get more than 2 players in the day. We'll see you later on, guys. And thank you very much for everyone who shared their live. Thanks.